And this will allow you to essentially extend the amount and the number of vendors that you're monitoring from dozens to literally thousands and of thousands, which is amazing. I think a real game changer.
Welcome to Cracking the Findings Code Weekly podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cracking the Findings Code podcast. I'm your host, Sharon Amor, and we have a special guest today, Raz, our head of product management. So in today's episode, we want to talk a little bit about some of the new features that have come out recently on the Findings platform. I'm super excited to get into it. The main things we want to focus on are the benefits of the new features that have been released for MSSPs and partners, and maybe later on we'll also get to some new and upcoming features that will be released later on. So Raz, what are some of the main features in terms of assessments or roles that we have in the Findings platform?
One of the coolest features that we've now released is a new role, the viewer role. This is something that we've actually heard of from a lot of customers and users. It's a role that basically allows an individual to view anything within the platform, assessments, vendors, whatever, but without any ways to actually engage with vendors, questionnaires, statuses. We heard this asked from a lot of people because mainly for MSSPs managing many customers, one of their pain points is keeping them engaged with the process and providing visibility into where we at in each and every moment. So with this new role, you can invite your customers into the platform. It allows them perfect visibility into everything, and you don't need to worry that the execution might be in any way tampered with.
So essentially, it's a limited role within Findings.
Exactly.
They have access to the platform and be able to see certain things that are going on, but they don't have the ability to actually change things as opposed to an admin or the owner of the profile.
Yeah, precisely that.
Great. I want to talk about some of the smaller features that have been released, but I think they're just as critical because I think every single little change in the platform or any addition really helps our customers and MSSPs. Not to mention that, of course, we incorporate features based on suggestions and, pain points. So could you talk about some of those?
Sure, definitely. I mean, we are always collecting feedback from our users and customers, and one thing that also came up several times was a new answer type for assessments, a date picker. I mean, many controls ask vendors about specific times in which, iOS certificates might get expired, or when was their last time that they did this or that. And what we saw is that many vendors provide a very unstructured answer. They write dates differently. It varies between Europe and the US, or they might do it in this way or that. And this new date picker answer type allows us to, first of all, collect consistently structured answers, which is critical for the audit phase, as well as provide an infrastructure for further on to add automations to that, which is also pretty cool.
I think the consistency of having the date is probably the most important point here in terms of continuous monitoring in the future and just
Definitely.
having the ability to view the date the same way across any integrations we create in assessments, because it's like you said before, the minute that we have the US inserting a certain date or people in Europe or wherever anyone is using Findings, that lack of consistency kind of halts the integrations. And this way we can really see it across everything that we incorporate.
Definitely.
Last thing I want to talk about is maybe what we're going to see in the next quarter, in the next 6 months, in terms of either integrations or new features.
Yeah. So the next big thing that we're currently actively working on is our continuous monitoring panel. Findings has partnered with some excellent industry-leading partners such as Risk Recon for security rating and scans, and Anomaly for intelligence in-depth risk analysis. And of course, we have our own integrations with cloud hosting infrastructures such as AWS and Azure. What we want to provide customers is the ability not only to understand the vendor's security posture upon onboarding to the system, but to provide an ongoing safety umbrella, if you will, to make sure that if things change or if something happened, you can know about it with minimal effort on your side, and this will allow you to essentially extend the amount and the number of vendors that you're monitoring from dozens to literally thousands and of thousands, which is amazing. I think a real game changer.
I agree. Me and you get in past episodes and just in general, we're always discussing cybersecurity trends, assessment automation trends in general. I think one of the biggest things is, of course, automation, but the idea that you can have continuous monitoring for long term and being able to incorporate hundreds and thousands of vendors is such a pain point for a lot of our MSSPs. And I think it's super exciting that Findings is planning to incorporate this. And also just generally the idea that we're constantly looking to netpick and try to acquire as many relevant integrations as we can. And I think we do a pretty good job of staying ahead of the game. I'm definitely excited to see what's next. So that's our episode for this week. I want to thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having me.